If I had a nickel for every time a blue dog became a national phenomenon, I would have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. Bluey to me at first was just a show with talking dogs for really little kids, and yeah, that is what it is. We are so used to shows that are made for preschool age kids to be just for them. Peppa Pig, for instance, a British show about a family of pigs, which is so incredibly annoying and just makes me crave bacon. It wouldn't be the first time that an animated show specifically made for kids appealed to adults just as much, if not more so, than its targeted audience. I mean, look at what happened with My Little Pony Generation 4. Ew, brony's gross. Imagine being a brony. Ew. That's not to say that animation is just a genre for kids. I mean, come on. As Guillermo del Toro says,
animation is cinema. Animation is not a genre for kids, it's a medium.
Animation is cinema. Animation is art. If a show like Bluey appeals to you, and you so happen to be an adult, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. In fact, I'd go as far to say that this show has helped me deal with the process of grief. This wouldn't be the first time an animated show aimed for children helped me through this process. I've already made a video about the MLP episode Sisterhood Social, which did a lot to help me process a lot of difficult emotions I was going through when my sister died in 2020. So many animated shows that are made for preschoolers are just made to have on in the background to distract children. Shows that spring to mind for me would be Peppa Pig or Dora the Explorer, which in my experience not only insult the intelligence of children but are also basically torture for the adults that may have to sit and watch it with their child. Because animated shows that are made for preschoolers are usually made just for that age group and don't have anything within the show for adults to enjoy or relate to. There's also very few animated shows made for preschoolers that actually, are artistically pleasing to look at. I mean, I know the intention with Peppa Pig, it was meant to look like a child's drawing brought to life, but come on, this show is the ugliest thing I have ever seen. And I know Dora the Explorer was some kind of poor attempt to try to make an interactive show, but the way that Dora just stares at you, it just feels like she's gonna steal your soul at some point. No, Dora, please don't steal my soul. Look, I can make a sacrificial offering. Here's some pork. This is what sets Bluey apart. Though there are plenty of reference jokes and adult jokes within Bluey that adults will appreciate, there's more peppered throughout the show that will appeal to adults that aren't just, pitch attempts to keep the parents entertained. Unlike in a lot of shows made for preschoolers where if the parents or guardians are in the show, they don't exactly have much more of a personality other than the role of guardian or mum and dad. In fact, some characters within the show that are the parents don't even have names. Now, I know I keep going after Peppa Pig here, but can you blame me? At least I'm not going after her with a meat cleaver. Bluey, though, is about a family of cartoon dogs who live in Brisbane. A mum named Chili, a dad named Bandit, and their 2 daughters, Bingo and Bluey, roughly the ages of 4 and 6. It's really a show about Bluey and Bingo playing elaborate games together with their parents and their friends, and about the joy and strangeness of children's imaginations and desires. Bluey, unlike Peppa Pig, is a show that adults can not only tolerate but genuinely enjoy and even be moved by, which I wasn't expecting at all. It's a very thoughtful and true to life show with how the characters act and interact with each other. The show deals with pretty deep themes in really subtle ways that never feels pandering, and also takes moments to acknowledge what the parents and grown-ups watching the show may be feeling when watching an episode. Might it be something they can completely relate to or comically dread at how awkward some questions from kids can be?
Dad?
Yes, mate?
If grown-ups grow from babies and only grown-ups have babies, who had the first baby? Dad?
Yeah?
How does the baby get in the lady's belly?
I should point out that last clip was censored by Disney+. How ridiculous is that? I'm not a parent yet, and yeah, it might be a bit weird for an adult to watch a show for preschoolers, and possibly even weirder for said adult to make a video about said show. But I gave it a go anyway, and I'm so glad I did, because the show is one of, if not the best depiction of sister dynamics I have seen in a show for a long time. Okay, so there's little to no real conflict in the show, which makes it feel far too idyllic at times, but from my experience as the youngest sibling, this show brought back a lot of memories of my childhood growing up with my sister, who was 2 years older than me, the same age gap between Bluey and her sister Bingo. Bluey, the show, is very much about Bluey and her sister Bingo. Bluey has classic older sibling behaviour in that she is the one who invents games and decides what they'll be playing, helping people to choose their roles and also decide on the rules of the game. Bingo follows Bluey's lead more often than not, as she is the quieter one who tends to get lost in her own little magical world, distracted by bugs or birds. Bingo is basically me. As the younger sibling, I definitely relate to Bingo more, as not only is she quieter but also more fragile and timid, and scared to speak up at times when she feels spoken over. I mean, there's even an episode where Bingo is too shy to tell her own father that he's playing too rough with her, and she has to be encouraged by her mother to tell him.
Bingo just has something she'd like to tell Dad, that's all.
Sometimes you play a bit too rough with me.
Oh, Bingo, really? Oh, sorry, Buster, I didn't realise.
How adorable is that? But Bingo also has a spontaneous side to her, and really creative, and enjoys making up dance moves which her sister and even her parents copy sometimes. She wants to help out as best as she can, but because she is only 4, she makes mistakes and has to take longer than her sister does to do anything. Even something as simple as making an omelette for her dad is a huge undertaking. But her mother Chili takes time to let Bingo learn and make a mess, because as the saying goes, you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs. It's an adorably sweet show that has genuinely hilarious moments as well as heartfelt moving ones. My personal favourite episode of Bluey is Bedroom, where Bluey moves to the spare room across the hall from the bedroom her and Bingo shared. When it's time for bed though, Bluey misses Bingo more than she expected and finds ways to stay in touch with her sister. And when Chili tells Bandit they need to move Bluey's bed back, Bandit asks if she missed her old room, and Chili replies with,
No, it's not the room.
When I watched this episode, it brought me to tears at the end, but it was happy tears. The two sisters love each other so dearly, and even though Bluey showed she wanted some independence with wanting her own bedroom, she didn't want to be apart from Bingo. That wasn't the motivation here. But she didn't realise that she would miss her sister so much until it was time for bed. Bingo seemed to take the change in stride, while Bluey kept coming up with reasons for them to carry on communicating, which Bingo would go along with, even sliding notes to each other through the hallway, much to their mother's frustration. I really didn't expect to connect to a preschool show so emotionally. True, it hits on a far more personal level to me than most will, due to the sister relationship bringing up memories of my late sister for me, but I seriously feel that how the show depicts play is actually helping me heal. The irony of calling this show healing when it stars a family of healer dogs is not lost on me. Play is something associated with just children, but the word play actually literally means to experiment, and that is something that we do throughout our lives. This is something we never stop doing as we grow and mature. At least it is something we shouldn't stop doing anyway. Play should be as natural as breathing. So why are we encouraged as we grow up to literally stop breathing? Play allows us to use our creativity and develop our imaginations, dexterity, as well as our physical, cognitive, and emotional strength. To me, play is not just something children do to pass the time. Play helps children to express their feelings more easily through toys instead of words. It's a show about parents and parenting just as much as it is about kids learning and navigating their way in life through playing games with each other. The show is really relatable for parents, and that's a rare thing for a show for preschoolers to achieve. There's a power to it that is unexpected and perhaps not even deliberate. All I know is that it's helping me remember the good times I had with my late sister. Memories I will forever treasure.
Night, Bluey. Night, Bingo.
Thank you, Bluey. I'm Mad Munchkin. Stay creative.